What's going on, everybody? It's time to discuss some NFL again. While recording this, I am also live on TikTok to see if anybody wants to talk about week 2 and week 3 of the NFL with me. Add some viewership to this podcast episode today. Right off the bat, week 2 of the NFL began Thursday night with the Bills' blowout win over the Dolphins. Quarterback Tua left the game in the third quarter. Another concussion, obviously. I think we all realize that I think Tua should just stop while he's alive, while he's healthy. Well, back to being healthy, should just take that $124 million that's guaranteed, set his kids up for life, and just enjoy being alive. Football is not worth your life. I know the type of person he is. He just wants to be there for his team, support his team. But in the same respect, is it worth it? Every time you play, you get hurt. And not even just like a little injury that you can come back from. We all know concussions are no joke. No joke. The Buffalo Bills looked primed and ready to go the whole game. They held all the receivers to under 100 yards. Achane, whatever you want to call him. One of the only touchdowns of the game. Or the only touchdown of the game. What's going on, guys? We're talking some NFL week 2 and 3. Yeah, the Bills just looked primed and ready to go the entire game. And that was even before Tua got hurt. Tua getting hurt sealed the deal as far as Buffalo winning the game. They already had that win in the bag, if you ask me. But with that being said, I think the Bills are moving on to bigger and better things. They play Monday night at home against Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence versus Josh Allen. I think that could really go. I mean, you could think of that as a trap game for the Bills. The Bills are looking good. Looks like, I know as a Bills fan, we say this every year, but that it could be their year. But it's probably still too early to say that. The Bills always tend to start off hot and then just kind of falter out and then come back up. But this year, I don't know, something feels different in the league. And with all the other weird stuff that's happened in the last week in the NFL, who knows what's going to happen. The Buccaneers tamed the Detroit Lions. The Saints offense proved to be too much for the Cowboys. Packers quarterback Malik Willis helped Green Bay to his first win of the season, while Lamar Jackson and the Ravens fell to the Raiders. The Cardinals' 31-point win over the Rams was spearheaded by big performances from Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr., definitely making up for the week 1 mistakes against Buffalo. Sunday night featured the Texans blitzing their way to a victory over Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. I think we all kind of expected that to happen. I mean, Caleb, it's not his fault. He's got time. He's going to learn. He's going to grow in the NFL. I think there's good things on the rise for Caleb, just not necessarily this year or yet. What's going on, guys? And then the Falcons beating the Eagles. What happened? If Saquon Barkley makes that catch at the end, the Eagles win that game. 100%. Kirk Cousins leading the final drive comeback. That was pure enjoyment, if you ask me. But talking about the Bills now, I'm a little worried about Josh Allen's hand. Josh has been taping that hand out for the last couple weeks. Do I think it's going to technically affect him as far as playing goes? No. It's his non-throwing hand, and he seemed to do pretty well against Miami. Granted, the game wasn't all Josh Allen controlling it. He let James Cook cut last week. Multiple touchdowns. One in the ground, or one in. It was an overall team win. It wasn't. You can't just say that game was one person over another. It was a systematic decimation of the Miami Dolphins, if you will. Thursday Night Football starts tonight. We got the New England Patriots headed over to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Jets. I know the Patriots have had somewhat of a streak in MetLife against the Jets, but with the current state of the Jets defense, Aaron Rodgers, I just don't think it's going to be enough for New England to push past them for a win. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the chat. Like I said, I am live streaming on TikTok as I record this. So, let's talk about the Saints, though, for a little bit. The Saints proved that their new offense is for real after blowing out both the Panthers and the Cowboys. How long can they keep this pace up, though? The Saints' starting offense scored on its first 16 possessions of the season. Alvin Kamara has got his second career 4-touchdown game, looked unstoppable, and the Saints did not stall on a possession until Derek Carr's interception in the fourth quarter. Sanchez says New England is plus points tonight. I believe it. I definitely believe it, but that crowd at MetLife can also affect the game greatly, as well as Aaron Rodgers being healthy this year. I don't know. Tonight will be a good game. I'll be watching it. We'll see how it goes. Sanchez, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Tonight's going to be interesting, New England, New York, I'm just going to call them what they are, the New Jersey Jets. Sanchez says, go Duke, go Blue Devils. Yeah. Surprised this thing still fit. Been a long time since I worn this. The Cowboys. Screw the Cowboys. I can't stand them. Is the season over early? Who knows? I mean, it wasn't as bad as the 48-32 wildcard loss to the Packers last season, but that's only because this wasn't a playoff loss. They play the Ravens Sunday at 4:25. Who knows? Maybe the Ravens can finally get on a little bit of a win streak. Start with the Cowboys, make the Cowboys look even worse than they are. But that all starts with Lamar having a good game. And the Ravens defense, which isn't what it used to be, needs to step up a little. The Chargers beating Carolina 26-3 last week. You can see it. I'm a Chargers guy. I don't know. Justin Herbert seems to be having a year. J.K. Dobbins is killing it. I know it's not saying much beating the Panthers, but it's something. Bryce Young, 22 passing yards in the first half, the lowest first half total of his career. Young career, so there's really not a lot to go off of there, but he has been officially benched. We know Andy Dalton's getting the start, and honestly, guys, I didn't think Andy Dalton was still relevant. I haven't heard that name in years. But the Chargers' next game is at 1 p.m. on Sunday against the Steelers. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win that game. Steelers or Chargers. I'm not even answering that. Let's get back to Miami Buffalo. Terrell Bernard left the game in the first half with a pec injury. Both of the team's starting linebackers got injured. In addition to starting nickel cornerback Taron Johnson, Balin Spector played the rest of the game for Bernard, while Dorian Williams is in for the injured Matt Milano. Josh Allen's throw to running back Ty Johnson to set up James Cook's 1-yard touchdown run. Allen was running 14 miles an hour at the time of his throw. And in the past 5 seasons, Allen has completed 50 passes on 113 attempts while running at least 14 miles an hour. This is the most completions in the NFL over that span. And up next on that list is Jalen Hurts with 40. Jamarcus Ingram, the former undrafted free agent, took advantage of opportunities and came away with 2 picks, including a pick 6. Ingram came into the game without ever recording an interception. Then he gets 2 against Tua. Now that I got some people in here, I just want to keep saying, hey, as much as I don't like the Miami Dolphins, I respect the hell out of Tua. That man has done so much for the culture in Miami. Wonderful human being, fantastic person. I think it's time you go be with your family and not necessarily worry about the NFL anymore. With the amount of concussions he's had in the short time span that they've happened in, to benefit his health the most, I think it's time. I feel bad for him, He's not a bad player. You don't like seeing somebody go down like that, especially when stiffness of the arms comes into effect and you see how epically, brutally concussed they truly are. It was very sad to see that. But looking ahead, Buffalo Bills versus Jaguars should be a solid game. Monday Night Football, 7:30 p.m. I can't wait. I might be attending the game or I might be going to work. Things are still up in the air. The Bills are currently favored to win with a 5.5 point spread. I mean, think it's going to be a much bigger spread than that. They've played each other 19 times in their respective team histories. First meeting in a 1996 wildcard round. Jacksonville won that game and holds an overall 10-9 edge in the series. But let's focus on the last four, though, because that's when the Sean McDermott era began in Western New York. Buffalo is just 1-3 against Jacksonville since 2017, including dropping the last two. On paper, the Bills should match up very well against the current Jags, and a few key matchups will determine the outcome of this game. Jacksonville, however, is set to come out swinging and will do everything it can to avoid exiting Week 3 with a goose egg in the win column. Buffalo has a big game the following week against the Ravens, and will need to be mindful of not looking ahead and avoid this potential trap game. Like I said, there's a few matchups that if the Bills win should allow them to come away with win number 3 early on in this season. You got Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr. versus the Bills secondary. Gabe and Brian have combined for 12 receptions and 246 yards on 18 targets through the first 2 games this year. Thomas has the lone touchdown between them, but they are clearly the Jaguars' passing focus. Tight end Evan Ingram is a threat. However, he may not play this week due to a hamstring injury that kept him out of their Week 2 game. The Bills' secondary has been on absolute fire through the first 2 weeks of the season, and cornerback Christian Benford is quickly becoming one of the top corners in the league, per both advanced analytics and the eye test. Trayvon Walker versus the Bills' tackles. In the first 2 weeks of the season, the former first overall pick has 2 sacks, 8 total sacks, and a tackle for loss. He is someone who can wreck an offensive game plan. The good news for Buffalo, though, is that both left tackle Deion Dawkins and right tackle Spencer Brown are playing as well as anybody else in the league to start the season. Through the first 2 games of the year, neither of them have allowed a sack, and they've allowed just 2 pressures between them. Dawkins has earned a PFF pass protection grade of 81.6 and Brown at 81.5. Josh Allen versus the Jaguars secondary. The Jags are allowing over 245 passing yards per game through the air, and opposing passers are completing more than just 63% of pass attempts. What's going on, all my viewers? Welcome. Talk football with me. Put in your wins for Week 3. Let's see what you got. Allen has been incredibly efficient through 2 games and already has 3 passing touchdowns this season. His primary weapons, Shakir and Kincaid, are perfect so far with a combined 13 receptions on 13 targets. The Jags have oddly had his number in the past, though. But if Allen can continue to play as efficiently as he has to start the year, Buffalo should be well on its way to 3-0. Well on its way to 3-0. But looking forward, that's Monday night to end Week 3 football. Let's go through some, I'm going to give you my predictions for Week 3. Y'all ready? It starts today. Patriots and Jets. Jets at home, I'm going the Jets. You know, you got Aaron Rodgers healthy. Jets defense, which is amazing, led by Sauce Gardner. I don't think it's going to be enough for New England to beat them. Bears, Colts. Jonathan Taylor's been struggling. We've all seen, or Anthony Richardson has been struggling. Jonathan Taylor and Pierce have been kind of holding him in. But I'm going to give the win to Caleb and the Bears this week. Chargers, Steelers. I think it could go LA's way. I think the Chargers are a decent team this year. J.K. Dobbins is having the time of his life playing right now. Eagles, Saints. Here's my upset of the week. This is my upset of the week. With the way the Saints have been playing and all the issues with the Eagles and their squad, A.J. Brown still being out, I'm going Saints. Upset of the week, Saints. Breezy, good morning. Hope you have a wonderful day as well. Packers, Titans, I don't know. Will Levis, I don't think he's really got it in him. I don't think he's got that dog in him. But then again, neither does Green Bay. So this one's a toss-up. I'm going to go Tennessee. Maybe Will Levis stops with the stupid mistakes. Texans, Vikings, this could be a very good game. Diggs is fighting another one of his former teams. in Minnesota. I'm going to give it to Houston. They've just been on a roll lately, and I think they got a good overall team. Giants, Browns, Daniel Jones versus Deshaun Watson. I don't know. Overall, let's go Browns. I don't think the Giants are going to win anything this year. Broncos, Buccaneers. If anybody thinks the Broncos are going to beat Tampa Bay, whatever you're smoking, I want a little bit of, because that's just a crazy take. The Bucs are going to kill them again. Dolphins, Seahawks, Tua's out. I don't know. Miami kind of fell apart. Do I still think they have a good overall team? Yeah. But a lot of that was due to Tua's throwing and the offense, the receiver's ability to separate off the break. Do I think that's going to help Skylar Thompson? It could. If you got Tyreek not being covered right, I think Tyreek's going to get open like crazy. Jalen Waddle's going to get a lot. Achan's going to get a lot of carries. I think they're going to rely more heavily on the run game as far as this week goes, or until Tua comes back, if Tua comes back. Panthers, Raiders, Bryce Young sitting. Trill Cole, you're right, the Bills are scary good this year. And there was a lot of people that were worried about whether or not the Bills defense could hang around. But they held all the Miami receivers to under 100 yards total, including the fastest man in the league, which is Tyreek. So just based off of that, I mean, I know we're only 2 games in. We'll see what the defense can do against Jacksonville, a team we've struggled against a lot the last few years. The fact that Josh Allen can engage his Mamba mentality. When he gets going, Josh Allen is him. He got that dog in him. He doesn't like to lose, and he'll just run his mouth to you. I love it. But next up on the predictions, Panthers, Raiders, like I was saying. I don't think Andy Dalton's going to be able to rally this Panthers team enough to get past pretty successful Las Vegas Raiders. Max Crosby's going to have a day. I already know it. Ravens, Cowboys. I feel like this one's another one of those games that could go either way. Realistically, I see the Ravens pulling the win out, but the Cowboys do have a strong offense when they get going. Ravens don't have a great defense. We'll see what happens. Lamar's going to have a day. 49ers, Rams. A lot of injuries are kind of plaguing the Rams right now, and I think overall that's going to help the 49ers, but at the same time, CMC is still out. So, how do you really bounce back from that? The Cardinals dominated last week, but I don't think they'll be able to get past Detroit this week at all. Detroit's just an overall very well-rounded team. Great fans, great coaching. And I know I say this a lot, but they got that dog in them too. 100% have that dog in them. Chiefs, Falcons, I'm sure there's a lot of Chiefs fans that see this, but I hope Atlanta somehow finds a way to steamroll you. I don't want to see the Chiefs succeed at all. I'm sick of it. It's our year. Bills Mafia, baby. Let's go. But realistically, I think the Chiefs are going to win. We got 2 games Monday night. Jags, Bills, which we've been talking about. Commanders, Bengals at 8:15. Give me the Commanders. Give me the Commanders winning. Jags, Bills, give me Buffalo. You already know how I feel. The Buffalo Bills are, without a doubt, the team to beat this year. With a very decent schedule coming up. You got the Jaguars on Monday night, followed by the Ravens Sunday night. I can't wait for that one, guys. See who the real good team is in that sense of the field. Then the week after, it's a little bit, I don't know who this is a revenge game for, Buffalo or Diggs, because we face the Houston Texans in Houston at 1 o'clock Sunday, October 6th. I really freaking hope that we could just bulldoze past them. If I'm being realistic, that's going to be a hell of a game. That's probably going to be game of the week right there. Buffalo and Houston. CJ Stroud is really freaking good. I won't take anything away from him. And as much as I dislike how Diggs left the culture here, the guy wants to win. He's very animated with how he wants to get that done. He hasn't gotten a Super Bowl yet. He might succeed with Houston. I don't know. Do I think it could be this year? No. I think there's just a lot more other overall talented teams that could take that spot from him. But then the Bills go into MetLife to play the Jets after that. We'll talk more about that next week or in a couple weeks. Titans, Bills, Seahawks, Bills. Like, there's so much that I could talk about with the Bills. Like, I don't see a single game that they could realistically get taken out. Like, every one of these games, I think it'll be close or a blowout by Buffalo. If we're never going to lose by a lot. If we do lose, it's going to be a close game, and I'm good with that. I'm so good with that. But that's what I got for this week in the NFL, guys. Stay tuned for some videos up here on the TikTok. I'll be dropping a few more prediction videos coming soon. Thank y'all for joining, and until next time, this has been Kev from the Screen Squad saying, peace.